Hello there. Welcome to another segment of Phil the Mortgage Professor, brought to you by Mortgage Alliance. Mortgages are marvelous. Today's class is really a 101 class in mortgage qualifying. Title of it is, of course, Mortgage Qualifying, like pouring a beer. Now, legal department over here has said something to me. They said I have to make a disclaimer. The disclaimer is that no actual beer will be used during the commercial. So for those of you with a beer allergy, intolerance to beer due to philosophy or religion, no beer will be used. So therefore, don't get excited. Now, let's start with the class. Folks, qualifying and pouring a beer is a wonderful analogy. And why? Well, when you take a look at this glass, the ability to pour beer in here it has a limited capacity. That's just like mortgage qualifying. Whatever your income is, they take a percentage of your income and say that is your capacity for having qualification or having a beer. Now, what do we mean by capacity? Well, the object of the game is fill the contents with the liquid. What is the liquid in this analogy? It is your mortgage payments, your property tax payments, a provision to keep the house warm, heating costs. And if you're buying a condo, half of the condo fees. So you've got a capacity. Notice there's this black line. Well, when you have draft beer poured for you, typically in a glass, there is a legal fill limit. In other words, the bartender wants to get here to be legal, doesn't want to go over. Why doesn't he want to go over? Because, of course, when you pour a beer, to give it some flavor, there's got to be a head to it. Now, what do we mean by head? Well, that's that foam on top of the liquid. From a mortgage perspective, you get to have foam. As a matter of fact, most people don't want a beer without a little bit of foam. So here's what happens. What happens if you're inexperienced and you take beer and you pour fast? You get a whole bunch of foam. So although your legal fill capacity could be here, when you've got foam that tops up here, remember, this is about capacity. Got to stop here. But if your foam goes from here to here, that only leaves from here to here for what you really want, and that's that liquid. And that liquid is your mortgage payments, your property tax, heating cost, and half condo. So what's the moral of the story? That foam is your credit cards, car lease payments, car loan payments, lines of credit, 1-year no-pay accounts with various providers, your consumer credit. Consumer. But it affects your capacity to have beer, mortgage qualifying. So what happens if, through inexperience, you poured your beer too fast and you've got a whole bunch of foam that goes right to here? What happens to you? Well, you can't continue to pour to try to get more liquid because you will make a mess. And the bartender is watching. He won't let you make this mess. So what do? Well, sometimes you have to have some help from family where they have to stick their fingers in the thing, pull out some foam, keep it for themselves to allow you to have more liquid. That's mom and dad coming to the rescue and getting rid of some of the foam for you so that you can have more liquid, that mortgage payment, property tax, heating costs, that kind of thing. Or alternatively, you just got to sit there, look at your beer, and wait for the foam to go from here and allow you to fill the capacity later on. So, mortgage qualifying, here's to you. Cheers.